at Stoke Mandeville Hospital. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Andrew, why did you decide to compile this dossier?
It was quite an exceptional step for us. It's not something we've done in the past. And the primary reason why we did it is that we were hearing from people at Stoke Mandeville, staff and patients and visitors, that they had concerns about patient safety which they felt were not being dealt with adequately through the internal channels. And we were also aware that quite a large number of patients, in the same way that Alvin has come onto your programme today and talked about his concerns, that takes quite a lot of courage, it takes quite a lot of determination. A lot of people were worried about doing that, or they didn't want to put their heads above the parapet, and a fair few people are worried that if they complain about the NHS, it'll somehow have an impact on their NHS treatment in the future. So we decided to give people an alternative way of giving feedback about the hospital. I think it's important to say we're not setting ourselves up as judge and jury on the hospital. We're simply collecting information from members of the public, from staff, from anyone who wants to give an opinion and has any evidence about patient safety at Stoke Mandeville.
What sort of complaints have you been getting, Andrew?
It's been a mixture. We've had a couple of, I suppose, what you call historic cases, talking about things that have happened in the past, but the vast majority of them have been things that have happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and some very, very shocking incidents amongst them. Now, we obviously are compiling a dossier for the CQC, and you'll understand if I'm unable to go into detail at this stage, because it's for the CQC to decide what to do with the information.
Of course.
But certainly we have been genuinely shocked by some of the messages that have come through to us.
Without going into specifics, and I of course appreciate why you can't. I mean, what kind of area are we talking? Potentially life-threatening mistakes?
I would say so. Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
I have to say again, we are only hearing one side of the story, and the story that is perceived by a patient can be quite different from the story that is being perceived by clinicians. So, as I say, we're not reaching any conclusion as to whether or not these are justified or not. What we do think is quite interesting is that an enormous means to get your comments back.
Andrew, we're losing you slightly. We'll just try and keep you for a bit longer. 'Cause it's not just the patients that you've been speaking to either. You've had staff complaining, is that right?
Indeed. I wouldn't say that we've had any staff complaining. I think what we've had are staff who have legitimate and well-reasoned grounds for being concerned. That doesn't surprise us, because we think the NHS staff are marvellous. You know, that it is very hard to find an individual member of staff who is not committed and skilled in their jobs. They're all, it's a large organisation. But there are a lot of caring, compassionate staff to do the best for the patients, rather, I suspect, like the nurse, the admissions nurse that Alvin was talking about earlier on, that want to do the best for the patients but feel that they can't, or that they have concerns about the way that hospitals are being managed or funded or staffed, and they've used our initiative as a means to bring forward those concerns, which I think is only for the best.
Andrew, listen, we're going to leave you there because the line isn't great, but Andrew Clark, thank you very much.